Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Joe Yoon, aka Joe Therapy for Just Therapies. And in today's video, we have a question from Kaylee, and it is, I am starting school soon to become a massage therapist. Amazing. Any advice on how to choose a school or how to get started? Any advice for those who are in school and just getting started? And any advice for right after getting licensed? Great questions. I'm going to answer them in this video. But as always, make sure you check out Just Therapy's lotion and creams. I've been getting some amazing reviews so far, so make sure you check some out if you are in the need for them. And let's answer these questions. So let's get it started with any advice on how to choose a school or how to get started. I'm going to give you a lot of the things that went through my head when I was in this position. So let's get it started with that. And for me, I was actually working as a personal trainer at the time, so I was looking for a flexible program. I was looking for a part-time program that did not affect too much of the hours I was working at the gym I was working at the time. So for me, there was only really two options. There was one school that concentrated a little bit more on like the orthopedic side of things, and then there was one that concentrated a little bit more on the spa side of things, so very unique and different. And for me, I gravitated towards that orthopedic school, but their hours did not work for me. I was still working, I still had to make some money, and that school was more of a full-time program. It was the normal hours, like a 9 to 3, and for me, I had to work in those hours. So I looked at the spa school, and they had an amazing, it was 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. But for me, that was perfect because I was working in the mornings and going back to the gym at night. So the first thing is finding one that works for your schedule. If you are just a student and you are just going for school, I guess it doesn't really matter. Just find the one that works best for you and has the great reviews. But if you are looking at this as a transition or a second career and you still need to work in between, then finding one that's a little bit more flexible can be great. And let's say you have a whole bunch to choose from and it works with your schedule, go for the one that you think is going to help guide you a little bit better to post-school. So like I was saying, I would have loved to gone to this massage school that concentrated a little bit more on the orthopedic side of things, less spa. But for me, I had to go with the spa one because it worked with my schedule. So find the one that works a little bit better for you, what interests you more. But I'm going to give you my experience on not going to the school basically that I wanted to, and how it turned out and how I kind of spun that to make it actually great. So I ended up going with a spa, and if you watch any of my stuff on social media, you know that I do not do spa work at all, but I actually had a really good experience. So even though you might have to go with a certain school because of your hours, you can make the best out of it, and it was actually a really good time. I met some really cool people and learned a lot too. So don't get too disappointed if you don't get into the school or the school is not an option for you, because what I'm going to tell you next is what's going to probably give you the most guidance here, and that is learning a lot while you're in school that's not being taught in school. So massage therapy in the States is a pretty short program. In Florida, where I'm currently at, I think it's 500 hours, which is very short. When I was in Massachusetts, where I got my license originally, it was 650, and I did a 750-hour program just because that's the only time I could get into that part-time program. That's what the part-time program consisted of. New York is 1,000, so that's on the high end, but on average, it doesn't take too long to get licensed. And while you're getting licensed, you're just essentially learning the basics because it's a fairly short amount of time. You're running through some clinics, you're learning techniques, but you're not going to learn everything. And that's with all types of schooling. You're not going to learn that much. So I learned kind of the basics in massage school. It was getting your hands on people, getting comfortable with it, working on different types of people, learning your basic strokes, learning a little deep tissue, Swedish. And while I was in school, I was seeking out essentially continuing education courses before I even graduated because I wanted to have a little bit more of that athletic feel of my sessions behind it, and I needed to learn a little bit more different techniques for that. So, which you see a lot in my social media posts. So, while you're in school, I would say try to learn about the things you want to do after school, during school, if that makes sense. Because you're going to learn the basics and you got to get your hands on people, very key. And then learn all the basics, learn all the strokes that you learn in massage school. But then on the side, whenever you have free time, start researching things that you admire from other people and start practicing that or going to courses outside of your school. So that is what I did. I learned some amazing techniques while I was in school that I used probably more outside of school than the stuff that I actually learned in school. I think I said the word in school enough, but hopefully that wasn't too confusing. And that brings me to the last question, and that is any advice for right after getting licensed? And if you took my advice, you get into school, you start learning the basics, you start getting your hands on people via clinical, but then if you take that suggestion of trying to learn during school on top of what you're learning already, so maybe it's a certain technique, maybe it's more about exercise, maybe it's more about the body, and you start incorporating that and learning that stuff while you're still in school, then you can start to have a gauge and a roadmap to what you want to do after you get licensed. So for me, I was in school, I was just getting things done. I was also a trainer at the time, so I was still increasing my knowledge on the body and exercise and trying to blend it because I knew I wanted to do that after getting licensed. And then I started going to courses on techniques that I wanted to utilize after I graduated. Not as much in clinic, but I would use it on my friends to get practice and some of my personal training clients that didn't mind me working on them. And that way I had a great idea of what I wanted to do post-license. I was going to stop the video there, but I think I can go a little bit more in depth on this last question on advice for right after getting licensed. And I know this question is going to come up. It's how do I find a job, or like how do I choose a job? Should I go to a place where they find your leads and your clients for you and you just do the massage, but you're limited in what you can do? Or do you go the route of just working for yourself? This is going to definitely be another video, but I just want to go through the basics super quick. That way, just to give you more things to think about and more advice. So going to a bigger place like a Massage Envy, a Hand and Stone, a place where you are working for someone, they essentially bring in the clients, you get paid a certain amount and you just do the massage and that's that. Or starting your own business, but you do not have a client book. You have to find clients, you need to, well, basically that's the hardest part, is trying to find clients. So which one do you choose? I went the route of working for myself, but that was because I had the experience with personal training. I had some personal training clients. I knew I could incorporate the massage therapy within my sessions. So I had essentially a dual income stream where I could leverage my personal training and find clients that way because I had a little bit more experience. And then I could layer on the massage therapy on top of that. So that's the route I went, but it's a lot more difficult to start your own business and start from scratch. I love it. I love doing it, but it was very difficult and very stressful. Very rewarding though at the end of the day. Or you can go to a place like a Massage Envy, Hand and Stone. I can't really think of any other ones, but you go, you get hired, they bring the clients in, you just work on people and you get paid. I don't know what the rates are. Maybe let me know down in the comments. I think it's like in the teens, like $15, $20 per hour. I'm not 100% sure, I could be wrong. But there's zero stress of having to find clients, which is the hardest part. The other good thing about that is right when you're getting out of school, you get your hands on a ton of people. So the pay might not be there, but you start getting experience with the touch and feel of working with different people. And you'll get that at a faster rate than if you just started working on your own. So that's it for now on that subject. I'm going to do a longer video because I think it's super important and the pros and cons of each one, but that gives you a little bit of an insight. One's going to be more freedom, but way tougher to grow, a lot more stress. One's going to be, you're not going to get paid as much, but you get clients in and you can get your hands on a ton of people. So let me know down in the comments if you prefer one or the other. Which route did you go? Did it help? Was it stressful? Did you switch? And that's today's video. Let me know if you have any more questions in the comments as well, because right now, since these are some of the earlier videos, if you ask a question, I'm going to answer them via video form, as long as it's a kind of somewhat broad question that will help multiple people. So let me know down in the comments, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you share it if you're in the massage therapy field, and make sure you give it a like and all that good stuff too, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.